Why do we practice? Why do I practice playing an instrument? I honestly believe that all practice is just to get you to be liberated. You practice an instrument so that you become one with that instrument and that it can express the true soul song that you have within you. It becomes an extension of you so that it may bring and manifest what is within you. And it takes practice to be able to have that ability, to have that freedom to play in such a way, to express in such a way. I think it's important for all of us to consider in times when practice seems daunting, like a chore, like putting away clothes. Why do we put away clothes? It's not so that we can wear them. We can wear clothes without them hanging up. We can wear them without ever putting them away. I think that we hang up clothes to bring a little bit of order to that chaos, so that we can have freedom within that order. I personally view putting away clothes as a chore, but I also can recognize that I do like to try my best to arrange my closet in colorways. Try to attempt to blend all the colors together on a spectrum. And that's one way that I've found fun and gratitude for the practice. In the same way that when you're starting to play an instrument, you first start out not being able to play that instrument. For most of us. And certainly for all of us, not as well as you would like to play that instrument. But that leads me to my next point, which is that a lot of practice, just like liberating yourself, is liberating yourself. And what I mean by that is, when you play notes in a manner that you do not appreciate, you get to confront yourself in that moment. You get to decide how you approach the error that you've made, and you get to release that error and try again. And more importantly, you get to release the version of yourself every time that you practice that would have given up because of what it saw as error in the beginning. You get to decide each time that you practice that what you are becoming is the fullness of what it feels like to play that guitar chord right. I still remember the first time I ever played the guitar and it finally sounded like music. And that inspires me. And still to this day, obviously, I have times where I, due to the deliberateness of my practice, try to spend a little bit of time doing things that I can't quite do. Because I know what I'm building towards. And because I've already, through practice, released the version of myself that would not have continued on, that would have let that one error or any of the errors stop me. Every day that we live, every breath that we take, we are releasing ourselves. We are liberating ourselves. As we continue to live, we continue to embody our fullness more, and we get to interact with and experience ways of being that we don't appreciate, errors. We make judgments that are misfounded or misplaced. We hold on to things we shouldn't. We commit error. And yet every breath we take is an ode to the fact that we are still choosing to be the self who is accepting that those errors will never stop it from embodying its fullness and liberating itself. That's what practice is. And so whenever we are doing any sort of practice and we wonder why we can't just be excellent already, there's a couple of things that we need to tackle about that. One is the framework. You already are excellent. Time is whole. It is one. Things that happen in the future affect the present. Things that happen in the present affect the future and the past. And therefore, things that happen anywhere affect everything everywhere. This is something that we know. And so, whenever you're asking yourself, why aren't you already excellent at this thing? Why do I have to practice at all? Odds are, you probably have to practice so that you can release that aspect of yourself that is even asking that question at all. That doesn't see itself as excellence. That views practice as a chore. Something that needs to be released and in due time. Perhaps it's the aspect of yourself that is impatient and wants to just experience mastery already. That part of you can accept that you already are experiencing mastery. But if it's still begging the question, then odds are there's an aspect of you that is impatient. And impatience does not reflect mastery. True patience is waiting for nothing. And that can be taken in a couple of different ways. You could say waiting for nothing means that you're not expecting anything to happen. You have no attachments to any desires or outcomes. You could also say that patience, true patience, is accepting, just as I've done, when I realized that I like to put my hoodies on this black hanger as opposed to that regular plastic one. I could have just hung it up, waited to fix the problem on the next load of laundry, the error, if you will, or accept that it wasn't really an error, it was a teaching moment, that I'm in practice, and that I don't have to wait on anything because I'm already doing now. Embodying, being. We practice in so many ways to confront ourselves. We go through life in life to confront ourselves. To figure out what are we attached to and why. Why do I view this as a chore when really I do like organizing all of my clothes into colorways, and it does bring me a sense of peace and an opportunity to speak to you all as well and think through some things of my own. Why then have I put this pressure on myself and on the chore, on the maintenance, on the living itself? It's not the chore's fault. It's not the living's fault. Actually, I'm actually in control of all of this. I could never ever put these away. I don't have to do this. I don't have to live. But I want to. And the only resistance that I find about doing these chores is actually no resistance at all. It's an illusion. Something I might feel whenever I'm sitting on the couch wanting to scroll through more videos and be entertained by something else outside of myself, whereas maybe putting away laundry just forces me to confront the internal. And maybe it's not because the internal is so scary, but maybe it's because it's revealing to me and all of us that what we're searching for in that screen and in the external actually can be found and expressed and felt much more beautifully within us than it can on the outside. That maybe I'm actually much more entertaining as a being than I could ever be as a video, or than any video that's being shown to me could be. And maybe that's kind of beautiful in its horror, as well as its simplicity. Because then I get to face that maybe what I'm scared of and sitting with myself and doing mundane things, and maybe the horror is that the inner workings of me has been the most beautiful, terrifying, entertaining, loving, hating, more so than I could ever see or experience on the outside. And maybe I've been living a life of illusion that convinces me that scrolling on social media or paying attention to things that I consider to be outlets well, maybe I was ignoring and neglecting me the whole time. And I'm much more wonderful than any of that. Allow me to think for you here. You know what I mean? I am you, you are me. But also don't allow me to think for you. Which also brings me to the fact that nothing is outside of us. Every video I come across has been put into my reality by me, by myself. To get me to learn whatever lesson I needed to learn. It could be that I don't need those videos, but it could be that I put them there because I want them there. It could be that I like watching movies. It could be that I like playing the guitar and painting and fighting and writing and expressing and being silent. And that I have space and hold space for all of that. Because like I'm doing right now, speaking to you, is I'm not just keeping this internal as in inside of my awareness, my not truly even awareness of my vessel. I'm expressing it. I'm sharing it. I'm bringing it into the external. But since we've ascended from duality, which you cannot ascend from, you can only connect with and integrate into the oneness of all, there is no outside. Therefore, there's no inside. There's just is. You know what I mean? In which case, what am I even blabbing about? And here we get to see the full spectrum of the wave. The ups and downs, that the journey that we get to go on, showing us once again, hammering home the point at the beginning, which is that it can all be found within us. And as me being an aspect, an extension of you. You found it within me, but most likely because you found it within yourself first. I'm not saying anything you haven't thought. I'm not naive enough to believe that. What I know is, regardless of what we think on the internal, regardless of what goes on inside, a lot of the times we are measured not only by our internal, but by our external. What do we speak? What do we do? Actions speak louder than words. Karma's in the doing. And yes, your thoughts and internal are important, but if you're viewing your internal as not everything that is within your reality, you're in duality, which is illusion. And since you're there, I'm there, which means that we're here. You know, my coach used to say, if we're all wrong, we're all right. And that meant if my coach gave us a play call and we didn't know how to communicate it at the time, or we didn't have enough time, or there was a miscommunication, myself and another safety would look over at each other and we would check blue, our default. Because though it might have been the wrong play call, or not what was supposed to happen, if we're all on the same page, even if we're all wrong, then we're all right. Masterful, right? And he didn't think that he was over here transcending duality. I can't even say that anymore. He didn't think that he was expressing the way of the Tao, being enlightened by saying that. It was just the truth. It was just the truth. And it's as simple as that. It's not a religion. It's not a belief. It's not a thought. It's not a practice. But it is. It's all of it. The yin and the yang together are the Tao. As one. All that to say, keep practicing. Whatever it is that you'd like, whatever it is that makes you excited, that you really want to do, keep sharing. I want to be as mystical as I can be. And keep practicing in everything that I do, in everything that I think, in everything that I act. And through doing so, I'll find parts of myself that I do not want to continue on with this journey. And I'll release them. Because me not wanting to bring them means that they did not want to come with me. And they are safe and they are held in that point in space-time where eternally in the present. You get me? So it's not like I'm abandoning them. They're actually always me. There's nothing that we can do to get around that. But we can go through it. And we don't have to feel bad about releasing it. And they don't have to be feeling bad about wanting to be released. You know? Because you don't have to do anything, actually. At all. Ever. And you can do anything. Then I guess the question becomes, what should you do? I don't know. But if you want an answer from me, I would say, once again, keep practicing. It's been really lovely to spend this time with you. I hope the audio came out okay. My mics have been a little busted, so I hope you can still hear fine whenever I'm turning around. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. I really appreciate you. I love you. I trust you. Keep being your best self. And I am so proud of you. As always, God bless. Wa love. Thoughts guide. Be new. Or whatever you'd like to be. And I will see you all in the next one.